We want to make sure and confirm with local government in the city that that information will not be shared or kept, because I know there's a larger conversation of data and privacy. So this bill solely focuses on just creating the framework, but I do think future legislation needs to be made about protecting people's data and privacy.
The proposed legislation would give Milwaukee permission to run the program in high-risk crash areas. Another legal filing in the case of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, this time from prosecutors. The federal government response says that dropping charges would put judges, quote, above the law. Dugan is accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Last month, Dugan's defense filed a motion to dismiss her indictment of federal obstruction charges. More support followed with a memorandum from her lawyers and a brief from dozens of retired judges. Her trial is set for July 21st. The man falsely accused of threatening to assassinate President Trump can be released on bond. An immigration judge ruled that Ramon Morales Reyes can go free from the Dodge County Detention Center. He was accused of writing a letter in English threatening the president, but Morales Reyes was framed since he doesn't speak English very well. Morales Reyes was attacked while having his bike stolen in 2023. His alleged attacker, Demetric Scott, forged a letter to the president to try to clear his case. Scott is due in court this afternoon. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. So, I was thinking today, first of all, one more time, we need anybody who is a fan of 1017 The Truth or just Truth in the Afternoon with me, Dr. Ken Harris. Text survey, SURVEY, to 833-212-1017. And I want you to answer some of the questions that are in the survey. We don't track emails and names and all that other stuff unless you want to put it in there. But I want to know what you want from us. We are Milwaukee Black Talk. Some people like it, some people don't. I think that it is a phenomenal voice, especially now during the times of getting rid of DEI. We're not DEI. Idiot comments by people on other radio stations who make stupid comments about
what they think when in fact they're wrong. And it's not the first time they've done that. And so I find it interesting that when black radio is on, people have this assumption that we're a monolith. I think 1017 The Truth is an example of how black America, black Milwaukee, a microcosm of black America, is not the same. You all have accused me, Tori, Sherwin, Carrie, Ben, Kyle, all of us of being something we're not. And they're supporting us when we're something that we're not. Like it spans, and that's how conversations go. That's how people go. That's how families are. That's how communities are. We're different. The problem is many times when white people look on the inside and they look at all the similarities, they make assumptions and then make stupid remarks about something that they don't know. I'm not Irish, so I'm not going to pretend to know anything about Irish. You're not black or African American, so you don't know anything about us. You know some things. So let's keep it civil. When you don't know what you're talking about, when you don't know what you're doing. But anyway, let me stop. I digress. For those of you, I am taking an extended week. I got stuff I got to get done around the house and places I need to go, people I need to see. So this will be my last day this week. Homer Blow and several others will be filling in for me for the remainder of the week. I'll be listening in and please make it a point to double negative, not listen. How's that? That means I need you to listen every day, all day. If you miss it, if you didn't watch it, you can stream and watch us live, or you can watch us. But what would not live be on YouTube? Record it. Y'all see I'm gone already. I'm still here. At 1017thetruth.com, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell when we're live so you never miss a minute of a live show. And you can just go back. Spotify, TuneIn. Is TuneIn still around? Anyway, go to App Store or Google Play Store, download the Truth app, and you can just listen there. You can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Truth app, all that. Just listen to us, right? What does that mean? Because it's going to be a pop-off Thursday. Curly Q, you are absolutely right. So I'm thinking of some things that we talked about yesterday. Brandon, made some good comments. I think he's correct about 40%. Blaming baby boomers for stuff. We don't have a bankrupt country. We're America. We're the greatest country in the world. And if you don't feel that way, I'm not talking to Brandon. If you don't feel that way, you should move. But if you think you can win, then you can win. Failure is just a lesson in growth. But at some point, we need to get where we understand that we as Americans, right now, you're complaining about living in a place. Why do you think immigrants who came here illegally, listen to what I'm saying, immigrants that came here illegally are fighting and protesting to stay here? Now, some of them criminals, they don't need to stay here. But the ones that are not criminals that want to stay here, that came here legally, they should be able to stay here. Why is that? Because we're the greatest country in the world. And if you don't believe that, one, what's my favorite phrase, Glenn? I don't care. Eh? Number two, I don't care. You still live it. The fact that you can use the Constitution to say what you want to say and do what you want to do and protest, and then not expect. Now, peep this. I'm not a supporter of all things Donald Trump. Of course not. But when you are not from this country and you come in and start a protest, you are illegal. That means you are a enemy combatant. That means that the government, the federal government, can come in and quell you. So with Governor Newsom doing this thing where he wants to get a lawsuit to stop the federal government from defending federal land, call the Los Angeles, you're not a sovereign state or a sovereign city. You don't get to do that. If you really feel that way, Governor Newsom, secede from America. Make California put up a wall and be like the Great Wall of China. Just put up a wall and just be in California because y'all crazy out there anyway. But there are some things in this world, there are some activities that we can do that we've decided we don't want to do. The problem is everybody complains generationally, and it's the same thing that the baby boomers complained about it, the same thing that X complained about, the same thing that millennials and Z and the alpha generation is now. When they get old enough, they're going to complain about it. People aren't giving them what they want. They want to take something and they want to be something, and we're not giving them control. Number one, never ask for what you can take. Take it. Many of the things that I have in life, I took. I didn't ask permission. I didn't go around looking for support. And I sure didn't look for an ally. I just took it. Now, there are some things, and there are 3 activities I want to ask you about and ask you what they have in common. Number 1, rest. Number 2, effort. And number 3, hustle. What do these 3 activities have in common? Something everybody can do. Everybody can rest. Everybody can put forth an effort. And everybody can hustle. The problem is successful people have these 3 things. Unsuccessful people don't have these 3 things. Number 1, successful people rest. They recharge their batteries, recharge their minds. They sleep, so all the dirt and grime and crap they ate can flush out of their bodies in the morning. That's why you get up and go to the bathroom and you go. That's one of the first things you got to do in the morning, right? That's what sleep does. It takes all those impurities and it pushes it through your system and it goes through your digestive system and out. Now I'm giving you a child's version, the PG version of that, but you understand what I'm saying. Rest. It's important. Slows your mind down, lets you dream about those things that you like, all that. Number 2, there's effort. I think I told the story. I had a friend of mine who now has 2 master's degrees and a bachelor's degree because they decided they wanted to go back to school, but they didn't want to go back to school. And they had been in the military and they had an associate's degree. And all they had to do was go back and finish a year and a half. They would have had a bachelor's. And they didn't want to go. And they talked themselves into not going. I got in my car. I drove to their house. I said, I am going to drive you to school, and I'm going to pick you up when your class is over. Now, they took the same classes I took at Concordia University, Wisconsin. Accelerated in the classroom, 1 night a week, 6 to 10, break in the middle. But that person didn't want to go. They decided they didn't want to go. But everything you do starts with effort. Literally take 1 foot. So what I told that person, as I said on this radio station years ago, all I want you to do is go to 1 class. And if you think you can make it through 1 class, now you're on your own. I'm going to go with you to the first class. I'm going to pick you up, drive you there, drop you off at the door, walk you in, introduce you to the person, the center director, blah, 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 and you're going to go in. Now, you did all this stuff. You got all your transcripts together and all your military, your DD, what is it, your DD? I forget it. You got all your Department of Defense information. You got all that stuff, and you turn it in. You got all your credit. You get all the stuff, and then you're not going to go. No, we're not going to, because everything starts with effort, 1 step. And I helped that person take that 1 step. They now have 2 master's degrees. And probably contemplating going to get a doctorate so they can dispense more information and more experience that they've had in the world and at work to younger people. And then number 3, there's hustle. Things don't go right all the time. Sometimes relationships break up. Sometimes families break up. Sometimes people die. Sometimes families move and you're in a new place and you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go. Or in many cases, there's too much month left over at the end of your money. What do? You hustle. If you have 1 job, you get 2. I remember talking to somebody, oh, well, I don't make enough money. Then go get a second job. Why would I do that? Because you're complaining you don't have enough money and you don't have enough time in this job now to actually get more money because you haven't done anything. So I think what you need to do is go get a second job. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, then you have no hustle. But the problem with this is people don't understand the 3 activities that I mentioned, rest, effort, and hustle, all have one thing in common. And these are usually the 3 things that people never want to do. When you're out acting a fool, you're not resting. When you're out driving a car and you kill people, speeding at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, when you should be home, you're not resting. When you don't get anything, you don't start anything, you don't move anything, that means you're not putting forth effort. And when it hits the fan and it looks like the world is against you, you have no fight, therefore you have no hustle. So what do these 3 activities have in common? That when you do them, when you talk about woe is me and you don't have anything and you can't do anything, you know the one thing these 3 activities have in common? You ready? No talent required.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. Go behind the scenes of the Emmy-nominated Giannis documentary. Get the real story of the blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Hear the origin of Bucks in 6. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie Ricks. You all know I love supporting a local team. That's why I'm excited to tell you about UW Credit Union. They've been serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. And when I was in school, they helped me learn how to plan for my future and make my money grow. Even now, they're still always there for me when I have questions, and they'll be there for you too. So stop by any of their 13 Milwaukee area branches or visit uwcu.org to become a UW Credit Union member today, like me. Federally insured by NCUA.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavani's.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. I know I got to get to the talking text line. I know I got to get to the YouTube chat, but I first got to get to Al. What's going on, Al?
Hey, good evening. I was thinking about something, and maybe it's just an integrity issue.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of odd, like a lot of these politicians who screaming about illegals, didn't they get their opportunity from somebody being illegal in their bloodline?
Maybe, maybe not.
Like I think about,
but they weren't illegal. Most
DeSantis.
of them were not illegal. They came through Ellis Island.
Okay, but I know when DeSantis' grandmammy came, if it wasn't for the Immigration Act, she wouldn't be here, and he got an opportunity from her coming illegally. And I also
but we're
know
not
that
talking about all
pathological liar
illegal people.
from
We're talking about the illegal people that commit crimes shouldn't be here.
Exactly, and I understand that, and I know Trump kicking all this stuff about illegal, but his grandmammy, no, not the grandmammy. I keep thinking about his mama who came with $50 in the box.
Okay.
His granddaddy.
Okay.
If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be over here.
And if it
so
wasn't,
my thing is, how can you? And how can you scream about illegals when you got docket babies and half of the people you marry and lay with ain't illegal? That's what you call a blue lion hypocrite. But that's not American. You're more American than Donald Trump.
I'm American.
And your people didn't have to.
I only got about
didn't have to lie and say.
I only have a full generation that's American, to be honest. I mean, I'm just saying.
I understand that, but what I'm saying, Dr. Ken, your generation didn't have to say and lie and say they were from Scotland when they was actually from Big Back Germany. What I'm saying is you're more American. So when I think of American, I think of somebody from American soil, not somebody who had to lie, steal, cheat.
No, they raped them. If that's the case, Native Americans are the only Americans, and we just here. We're just colonizers and we took over. So let's, if you want to be real.
Yeah, I understand. And, we had the $5 Indians when they used to put on them cheap wigs to try to get to get the benefits down to Louisiana, them white folks. But when I think about an American, I think about a person who's proud to be American, not somebody who lied and came with $50 in a box.
But they're still proud to be American. They're still proud to be American. See, what makes you American is not when someone else
thinks
you are.
American. His whole generation comes from lying, stealing.
That's your opinion. But so did the Kennedys, so did the Bushes. Listen. So did the Kennedys, so did the Kennedys, so did the Bushes, so did all of them. They were all bootleggers. So come on.
But what I'm saying is when your generation is straight trash, that is not of American.
The whole generation is trash?
No, I'm talking about Trump generation. His mama didn't have enough to make the cut. She didn't even like America. His daddy was worthless and a pathological liar and a draft dodger.
Okay.
How you gonna speak about being in the army? You got heel spurs and they pay for them when you're fat, overweight, and diabetic and wear a pamper.
I guess you don't like Trump, huh?
That's American. No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
Unfortunately, America is made up of a significant number of different people, which are inclusive of them.
Yeah, but it's not made up.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'll let you finish. So let me finish. And you and me. Now, I didn't ask to be here.
Yeah, but we don't come from it. But Dr.
Don't
Ken,
say we. You're talking about you. I'm speaking for me.
Well,
let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. Everybody say I don't let people finish. I'll let you finish. So, we're all here, and I'm taking advantage of America. I'm not spending 1 ounce of my time and energy worried about freaking Donald Trump. Like, what is happening? Take care of you, make your family great, make your lineage great, make your ancestors proud. But we spend all this time worried about a guy that's going to be gone in 3.5 years. What are we doing? Why is there so much vitriol against the guy that's going to be gone and you ain't going to never have to worry about him again? But yet you hate why don't you have that vitriol when we shooting and killing people out in the street with 16 people shot, 4 people dead over the weekend? Why are we screaming at why the mayor and the common council and everybody isn't doing their job in making sure this city is safe? Give that some power. Stop complaining about Donald Trump, who don't know nothing about Milwaukee.
Well, I talk about them like a dog, too. You can hear that in the video. Don't trust me. I tell you, I talk about all of them.
Yeah, but you seem to only come up when somebody says something about Donald Trump. Who cares?
Well, when you have When you have it, can't no generation
Did
from
any of
trash,
that affect
dope
you?
fiends,
Did
alcoholics,
immigration affect
and
you?
rap, they tell
Who
me how to
cares?
be an American.
Who cares? They can.
Can't
Anybody
no
can
junkie
say it,
tell me
just
how-
like you
can't
can't.
no junkie,
Al,
no
you
junkie,
saying there's
no
nothing in
racist
your
tell me how to
background?
be an American. and he comes from a family and generation of trash.
Al, you saying there's nothing in your background that if we didn't know about it, we would question you or say something about you or think negative of you? That's a lie. So how dare you put
like
somebody else? No, that's
like
not
them
true.
white ones.
No, that's not. You know
like
that's
them
not
white
true, Al.
ones.
You know
None
it's
like
not
them
true.
white ones.
Al.
Nothing like them white ones. I'm proud of my
Al,
past. I ain't never had to lie still. I don't come from a family of drug addicts nor rapists. My family ain't never had to lie, and they didn't come with $50 in their box, and their kids did not die from being alcoholics and freaking drunk.
Al, everybody
and
got that in their family.
Ken,
everybody got it in their family.
But you know what, Dr. Ken?
Come on, man.
Dr. Ken.
Look, you
Dr.
black.
Ken, but you know what? I'm proud to be black. But you know what, Dr. Ken?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know what, Dr. Ken?
Yes, sir.
What I do know about, if it wasn't for the blacks, them racists still be walking around here smelling like death and garbage under their armpits. And that is a fact. Now, challenge that. Have a good day. And that was by the Moors.
Why would
Goodbye.
I bother to challenge that? Like, why would I even bother to challenge that? That made absolutely no sense at all, Al. None. Zero. Made no sense. Because the bottom line is this. You're responsible for you. What you do, what you say, those kids that you're responsible for, those family members that are in your family, not your cousins and your aunts and all, you. And if they go wrong, you correct it. It's your job. It's your calling. It's your responsibility, and you should be held accountable. But to keep lumping everybody in a lump, I wish half that energy went to fixing this city. Just half. You realize how this city would be? You realize what this country would look like? 833-212-1017 is the number. What's up, Winky? May as well get on with you too, brother. What's up?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me, Doc?
I already responded to your question, so clearly I can hear you,
me,
Winky.
Doc?
What's going on, Winky?
Okay, listen. I'm looking at legal. If a person commits a crime, an illegal crime,
right?
Is it not a crime? If somebody do something illegal, is it not a crime?
That is correct.
Okay. Now I've got a few people that I know that I know a boy that was sent to Green Bay for doing something illegal, a misdemeanor. Matter of fact, he got charged habitual misdemeanor. He's living in Dane County.
Habitual criminality.
And I didn't believe you can go to jail for disorderly conduct, not prison.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Boy went to prison, man.
Yes, you can.
Then I know somebody else. I know a girl that got jammed up on a misdemeanor.
Right.
Now, we got people that are, you do something illegal, it's a crime.
Right.
So I don't want to hear nothing about the illegal aliens is all right, because once they've broken the law, I don't care to what degree, it's illegal at that point.
Correct.
Whether even if they overstay their visa,
it's illegal.
It becomes illegal.
You literally become a criminal the day after you overstay your visa, or if you come into the country without documentation, which means letting us know you applied for a visa and you got entered, or you came in illegally and notified immigration, customs enforcement that you are here illegally and that you are reporting to them for a hearing.
Correct. So at that point right there, there's no good elite. I mean, they're probably good
natured. There's no such thing
and
as a good
morals.
illegal or an illegal citizen. I heard the other day too. There's no
okay, let's do that. That sounds better.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Like you're not a citizen.
Now on the tape, on the last call, the lower caller just called in. He started saying something about the people they smell like some trash under their armpits,
I don't know
and that comes straight from the morgue. Hold on, then I think he said come from the morgue.
Right.
I mean, where is this stuff coming from? Is this some psychotic behavior?
I don't know.
I'm afraid for us, man.
I don't know.
But anyway, if you break the law,
what that is we spend an inordinate amount of time hating Donald Trump instead of spending an inordinate amount of time with people locally that are taking advantage of us over and over and over for decades, and we get nothing for it. We get our streets don't get fixed, our street lights don't get fixed, our garbage don't get picked up.
do it to us again.
All that.
They finna do it to us again with these red light cameras. Now I don't know what your perspective of and these plate readers that they got in certain corners.
Well,
you see like 5 of them on one corner.
Plate readers are plate readers. You're in public.
Well,
and
that's
you know
the
when you're
same
in public,
thing. You're
that's why
invading
you
my
got a car.
privacy.
No, we're not. You're in public and you register your car. Driving is a privilege, so you have to be. So that it just is what it is. You follow the rules.
Well, that's why we got police officers, man,
No,
to pull those guys over. We don't need Big Brother.
No, it's not. That's how life works. You keep complaining we don't have cars, people speed and do stuff. Now, what I don't want is using cameras, and that's something I'm going to talk about in my at my top 5 at 5. Cameras that we use to stop people from speeding because state law says you have to absolutely be observed by a law enforcement officer. So this whole thing about using a camera, like red light cameras, have pretty much been removed.
That's where we need you to come in and start the ball rolling. That something here is being done illegally, and then you start. That's where you can exercise what you got, man.
That's what I'm saying. I'm literally
okay. Well, then you got to start the ball rolling. You need to.
What
you
do
need
I
to
need
let
to
the
do,
people
Winky?
know. We need to have a rally. We need petitions. We need to stop the madness. Okay, we're giving away all of our civil freedoms, man.
Right. Well, one of your civil freedoms is not to drive a car the way that you want to drive it. That's why it's registered. That's why the VIN is registered.
Dr. Ken.
That's why you have it. Let me finish. And that's why you have a driver license. Now, saying that I was speeding on a camera because I went through a light and the light is checked and the algorithm for the light says that if you're in the intersection, it's illegal. That's a problem because if the light changes when I'm actually in the intersection, my duty as a driver is to clear the intersection. So either way, I'm done.
Well, my duty as a driver should have stopped at the yellow light.
Well, no, you're missing a point. If traffic is backed up and I pull into an intersection, I get 3/4 of the way through and the light turns yellow and then green and then red, I'm in the intersection. And technically, I'm illegal. Right?
What do you mean, when you gridlock or when you actually go through it?
When you gridlock.
You mean gridlock?
When you gridlock.
Okay, yeah,
so
that's
what
illegal.
do you do? Time out. It is, but it isn't because the light changed. I didn't. I was already here. I entered the intersection when it was green and it turned red.
Well, that's why you got to go to court. Tell it to the judge.
No,
that's what the police gonna tell you.
That's why it should be illegal, and that's why many tickets in Illinois have been thrown out because they said.
Well, Illinois has actually repealed that thing. I think.
Correct. And that's why
they got rid of a lot of
so many lawsuits because you couldn't prove based on their own state statutes. That, like, who saw this? Some guy in Saudi Arabia who was looking at a camera or something? Like, what is this?
Well, check this out. They got rid of that portion of it, but they still allowed the cameras there for other reasons now.
Absolutely.
Maybe they're not citing you.
Absolutely.
They might
we
not
need
cite
cameras.
You.
Milwaukee
man, I don't
needs
need everybody looking at me, man.
Then stop acting a fool in the public.
Hey, look here, man. You know what? This Big Brother is taking over.
Don't act a fool in public.
You ever go to a baseball game? This was the land of the free, man.
Winky. Yeah, you ever go to it ain't that free. Yeah. Listen, if you want to live in a democratic republic, you got to give up some stuff.
I want you to be honest. Have you ever ran a red light?
Yes.
Okay. That's it. That's all we need to know. You ain't perfect.
Again.
You're not perfect.
Again. If the police wanted to stop every single person driving, every time you drift and you drift out of your lane and your car rolls over that lane marker, that white broken marker, violation. Anytime you touch that double yellow line, violation. If you stop in the crosswalk, just the front of your car, not your tires,
just
the front of your car is in the crosswalk. No. Forget the stop sign. You're in the crosswalk. Yeah. If you don't stop for a person at a crosswalk sign.
Oh,
you know how the big sign? No. I stop, and the person.
I done had to take the class a couple times.
Hang on. Yeah. And a person walks across the street. You have to wait until they're on the curb in order to drive through the crosswalk. If you drive before, you can get a ticket. Cops don't even enforce that because if you did, you'd never get your job done.
You're right. You just said some people don't know that. They think that once that person is out of their way, they can make that turn. Legally, you cannot. That person has to be on the other side of the road.
You can't even drive straight. Right. So all I'm saying is that people think they have Big Brother. They don't have Big Brother. If you want Big Brother, You're going to get. But these kids out in the street doing this stuff, you're telling me that the other day, Sunday night, you can't find nobody from the Puerto Rican Day Parade that went down to 13th and Lapham and took over the street and doing donuts in the street.
Hold on. Let me tell you something.
Video.
The Puerto Ricans do that. They've been doing that now for about 10 years, but and they be out to 12 o'clock. And I was wondering, they started at El Rey's over there off of Burnham, and I was wondering why they get to have their parade all night. But now, the other night wasn't just Puerto Rican. There was Mexicans over there, man, doing a lot of that stuff, man. They got it because of California fueled it. So a lot of those were not just Puerto Ricans; those was Mexicans, man, and they was having a whale of a time.
Let's not trash Latinos and those of Hispanic.
No, I'm not trashing them. I'm just telling you what. I'm not going to give all the blame to the Puerto Ricans when I see them.
But all I'm saying is, if you want to do it, go get a permit and knock yourself out. That's all.
Well, they haven't had one for 10 years. They enjoy themselves every year over there they started at El Rey's, and then they moved to Mitchell Park, and now I don't know what they're doing. But they had a good time the other night, and those were not just Puerto Ricans. The Puerto Ricans wouldn't have had a crowd that big, man. It was Mexicans.
That's
Puerto Ricans they ain't carrying that much. They ain't carrying it like that over there.
That's lightweight.
But I gotta go, Dr. Ken. I appreciate
all right, talk to you later. That was lightweight racist. See what he said. There ain't no Puerto Ricans. Like really? These are all American citizens. What are we talking about? Anyway, 833-212-1017 is the number. Evidently, 2 days in a row, I'm behind already, so I may as well talk to G. What's up? How's it going?
How you doing, Dr. Ken? I just have a question for you and Winky. The little research that I've done, being an illegal immigrant is not a crime. It's like a federal offense. I think re-entering, depending on the circumstance, it can be considered a felony. But being an illegal immigrant is not a crime, and not subject to prosecution. Yes.
So what are you saying? That because you're here illegally and it's not a crime, then you shouldn't be removed? Or if it's against our federal statute for you to come into the country without notifying us, we should let you stay? Like, I don't understand what you're saying.
The point is,
nobody can. No, it's not. That's not the point. The point is, it's not that it's not a crime. The point of it is that if you come here illegally and you commit a crime, that's what it is. Coming into the country illegally is against federal statute, but they don't criminalize it. That is why they have a process where you have to go in front of a judge. Then the judge will say whether or not you get to stay or go. But technically, you're not supposed to come into the country to begin with.
But I thought you said that it was a criminal offense. That's not true.
I didn't say it was a criminal offense.
Maybe Winky stated that.
Well,
maybe Winky said
let me. When we come back, and thanks for saying that. I'm gonna give the definition of a crime versus. And crimes are different federally versus state, right? If it's
when people were being deported and sent to that prison, that was against the statutes.
No, it wasn't.
Because there was a lot of innocent.
No,
there was a lot of innocent people.
No, it was not.
There was a lot of innocent people being sent.
It was not.
Just because you're an illegal immigrant,
raising your voice doesn't make you right.
Dr. Ken, I'm not raising my voice. I just would like to make my point with you at least once.
I let you do it the first time, but what's your point?
My point is, just because someone is an illegal immigrant does not mean that they have to be sent to a prison in El Salvador. That is totally wrong.
The guy that was sent to a prison in El Salvador, right, was a criminal.
Where's the proof of that? We all deserve due process, am I right?
No, you don't. If you're not a citizen of the United States.
We do have due process.
Dude, don't raise your voice at me. Stop hollering at me, please.
I'm not.
Yes, you just did, and I'm asking you not to holler. I just said you hollered, then don't talk like that. How's that?
I'm not hollering at you, Dr.
Now you're not.
I wasn't before.
Yes, you were. At least respect what I'm saying, just like I'm trying to respect what you say.
We all get due process, Dr.
No, you do not. No,
in
you
this
do
country,
not. You're not listening.
Okay,
here you go. You know it better than me, so you tell me.
Everyone gets due process, Dr. Ken.
Show me how.
No one can come and accuse you of a crime.
Raise your voice again.
Dr. Ken, I'm just trying to make a point. Okay, let me lower my voice. You think I'm yelling at you, but I'm not. Listen, no one can accuse anyone of a crime. So someone can accuse Dr. Ken or G or whomever or Winky Blue, say they did something, and you be automatically sent to jail. You get due process. You get a chance to defend yourself in court.
Did you say that immigration is not a crime?
It's not a crime.
So then you don't get due process. You only get due process when you do a crime, correct? So that means that I can ship you behind. Right? You're not listening. You only get due process when you commit a crime. You said illegal immigration is not a crime. Therefore, if you're here and you're not supposed to be here, you don't get due process. You get booted back to your country.
No, but you get due process.
You don't get due process.
Just look up the statutes.
No,
I just read it briefly.
I'm just following what you said.
Just look it up.
I'm just following what you said.
Just look it up,
That you need to do more. That you need to do more in your research. Here's the problem we have. The problem is that when you come into a country and you're not supposed to be here, you are not a citizen, so you don't get access to all of the things citizens who pay taxes get. But when you get put in a hotel, when you get food, when you get access to Medicare, when you get access to health care, that people that were born here, poor, pay taxes, and work their entire life don't get, that is a travesty. That is the problem. Now, if you want to come up with it, I don't care what you think. I'm talking. When you,
I don't think you get Medicare
you're talking
either,
again.
Dr. King. That's
You
a false statement.
You get help.
That's a false statement.
Prove
That
me
is not
wrong
true.
then. Prove me wrong.
That's not
You
true.
go look.
There were special
Do they get
funds
help?
created
Okay,
that gave people
stop interrupting
healthcare.
me because you didn't want me to interrupt you, and I let you talk. Did I not?
You don't get Medicare.
Yes, you do.
Medicaid.
Who cares what it is? The point is you get health care, and the federal government pays for it, and you didn't pay one dime of tax for it. So my point is, how can you get all of these accoutrements that American citizens are supposed to have, and you're not a citizen, but then you turn around and don't give it to the citizens that are actually here and hurting? Immigrants have gotten more than poor people in Milwaukee 10 blocks from where we sit. Why aren't you fighting about them getting help? Why aren't you fighting about them getting housing in a free hotel? Why aren't you fighting about them? You're not, because you don't really care. You seem to only care about people who don't
care
come
about
here.
the
No, you don't. Have a good day.
Yes, sir.
You only seem to care about all these other people who are in here who never grew up here, who never worked here, never went to school here, never gave. You got people on the South Side that are good tax-paying workers, whether they're legal or not, who deserve to be here. I have no problem if you've been here and you're here and you came into this country illegally and you didn't check in, you didn't notify them, and then you came in and you got a job and you're working and you got a home and you paying rent and all that. I got no problem with you staying here. None. I got zero. All I ask is that if you pay taxes, then you get access to all the things that America brings. But if you're not supporting the country or the city or the county or the state, why would you get free anything? I get the humanity piece. We got to show some humanity. There are some people that are hurting. I got that. But to think you're right because you're right on one thing when 20 other things you just pretend like aren't there, come on, that's ridiculous. And now with the super late 1017 The Truth traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Eastbound 94, an accident at Mitchell Boulevard has the two left lanes blocked, and that is making for a big, nasty delay all the way back into the Zoo interchange. Westbound 94 is heavy out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 41, watch for backups from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Off the freeway, we have an accident at Capitol Drive at 110th Street, and that is blocking the left lane. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly clear, a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a chance of rain or storms later on at night, a high of 83. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 1017 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
We Energies want you to keep this important safety message in mind. Before you start digging, planting, or landscaping on your property, call 811 to have underground utilities marked. Calling 811 at least 3 business days before you plan to dig will help you know what's below and can prevent a hazardous situation. Our representatives will mark the underground utilities on your property for free. So remember, stay safe and call before you dig.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
At Hope Christian Schools, they're transforming lives through the power of Christ-centered education. Their nurturing environment combines academic excellence with strong Christian values. They offer free transportation and free tuition options to help set children up for success. Through faith, dedication, and unconditional love, they empower their scholars to discover their God-given potential and pursue their greater purpose. Don't wait. Start your child's journey at hopeschools.org.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
Metastatic breast cancer, or stage 4 breast cancer, happens when cancer spreads beyond the breast to other parts of the body. About 168,000 women are living with it today, with Black women at a higher risk due to various factors. Research has led to treatments that help manage the disease and improve quality of life. The Everyday Counts study explores how nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Let's see. Hey, where's my So if we could try to find that, I'd appreciate it. All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. So I'm going to go back to, was that G I was talking to? Let me go back to what G was talking about. Undocumented presence. So, undocumented immigrant is generally not a criminal offense in and of itself, but is a civil violation of immigration law. So I guess because he's right about one thing, then I should accept everything else. But here's why I don't. Undocumented presence is simply being present in the U.S. without authorization is a civil violation which can lead to deportation or removal proceedings. Illegal entry is entering the U.S. without proper inspection and admission is a criminal offense categorized as a misdemeanor or a felony depending on the circumstances. Illegal reentry is unlawfully re-entering the U.S. after being previously removed or deported is also a criminal offense and can result in significant penalties, including imprisonment. So here's the kicker. Civil versus criminal. Immigration violations are primarily handled through civil proceedings by the Department of Homeland Security, which is not a justice system. It's not the Department of Justice. It's not a criminal division. It's administrative, leading to deportation. However, certain related actions like illegal entry or re-entry after deportation are criminal. An illegal alien is considered outdated and can be misleading simply because becoming or being undocumented is not a crime. However, Legal consequences of being an undocumented immigrant can include deportation, bars on future reentry, and limited access to public benefits. Those people who came here illegally and were housed in hotels were paid for by money that should have been used for other things like FEMA, emergencies, hurricanes, and was used for them. President Biden gave them access to public benefits that they should not have had, which included health care. In summary, while the act of being president of the U.S. without authorization is a civil violation, certain actions like unauthorized entry or re-entry after deportation can be considered criminal. So technically, you're absolutely right, G. It is not a crime. That does not mean that you cannot be removed. This thing in people's mind that if you didn't commit a crime, you shouldn't be removed is ridiculous. And they're sucking up benefits that should go to our seniors, that should go to our kids, that should go to those that are in need. But instead, we're using it on people that haven't paid one dime of tax. And no, I'm not talking about all of them. Sign up. This is just me. Amnesty, sign up, check in. If you got a criminal record, you get deported. If you're here, you're not. That's it. Why don't you just come here and not commit a crime? How's that? But yet we argue about people that are here and they're not supposed to be. And we don't argue about people that are here and actually commit crime. I'm confused.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered. With free tickets, Truth Nation, to the world's largest outdoor festival. Tune into The Truth all week and listen for your cue to call and a chance to win an 18-pack of tickets to Summerfest.
Benjamin, I know you lying.
No, Juice, you heard that right. It's an 18-pack of tickets so your friends and family can enjoy Summerfest on us. So stay tapped into The Truth so you do not miss your chance to enjoy the biggest party on the lakefront. Summerfest is presented by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. You heard Benjamin join us. 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 to 3. Stop by, say hello, get some free Truth swag. Juneteenth in Milwaukee is one of the oldest and the biggest in the country, so don't miss your chance to hang out with us during our live Juneteenth broadcast. Presented by Hope Christian Schools and Carroll University, 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, Educators Credit Union, my favorite, and Associated Bank. All right. So we got top 5 at 5 coming up in a bit. I am not going to be able to get to Dimitri because the comments, he has some comments, unless he wants to hold on, and whoever's calling, hold on. I'll get to you after the top of the hour, and then we'll hit our top 5 at 5. Let me hit right quick. Talking text line, understand why they give you a slide on 1017 The Truth, the lie. Hey, this country isn't perfect. It has its flaws too. This is, yeah, I love y'all. Somebody say, Winky, stay confused. Somebody say, Winky on your point. Y'all funny. Y'all funny. You know what I find interesting is that when people don't agree with people, they don't respect other people's comments, right? Or when you're challenged on your comment, you say you want something, but then you don't give it to the other person. So I have no problem with people interrupting me, but when they tell me, let me finish, and then I let them finish, and then when I start talking, they interrupt me, that's a problem. That's all I'm saying. But if we're going to talk back and forth like that, and ain't nobody mad at G or anybody to do that, let's do it. Hey, you're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Top 5 at 5, calls, talking texts, about.
Truth Nation, this is the legendary Homer Blow, hoping you and your family will join me at the 31st annual Homer Blow birthday party for the kids on Saturday, June 28th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Fitzsimmons Boys and Girls Club at 3400 West North Avenue in Milwaukee. The celebration is for children 2 to 13 years old. Admission is absolutely free. For more information on being a sponsor for this great event, call 414-248-4954 or email the Homer Blow Foundation at gmail.com. And don't forget, we'll have Kool-Aid, the red kind.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a ball.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Time to upgrade your windows and or doors but don't want to spend a fortune? Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it done now and wait to start making payments for up to 2 years. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Summer in Milwaukee is nonstop. Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season you already know. From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment. Music, flavor, culture, whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit. Make sure you experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. Listening is a form of love.
Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. This is your 1017 The Truth News Update.
Hello, everyone. This is Rhea Riley with your news update. Milwaukee is one step closer to using street camera technology. The newly proposed bill to install the cameras would crack down on reckless driving and issue fines for drivers exceeding speed limits. Senator Dora Drake addresses privacy concerns for drivers.
We want to make sure and confirm with local government in the city that that information will not be shared or kept, because I know there's a larger conversation of data and privacy. So this bill solely focuses on just creating the framework, but I do think future legislation needs to be made about protecting people's data and privacy.
The proposed legislation would give Milwaukee permission to run the program in high-risk crash areas. Another legal filing in the case of Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan, this time from prosecutors. The federal government response says that dropping charges would put judges, quote, above the law. Dugan is accused of helping an undocumented immigrant evade ICE agents at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Last month, Dugan's defense filed a motion to dismiss her indictment of federal obstruction charges. More support followed with a memorandum from her lawyers and a brief from dozens of retired judges. Her trial is set for July 21st. The man falsely accused of threatening to assassinate President Trump can be released on bond. An immigration judge ruled that Ramon Morales Reyes can go free from the Dodge County Detention Center. He was accused of writing a letter in English threatening the president, but Morales Reyes was framed since he doesn't speak English very well. Morales Reyes was attacked while having his bike stolen in 2023. His alleged attacker, Demetri Scott, forged a letter to the president to try to clear his case. Scott is due in court this afternoon. This has been your news update. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris continues on the new 1017 The Truth.
Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what, because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. Sly Stone passed away. Sly and the Family Stone. Like, that was one of my favorite groups that I just... We have to come up with some Sly Stone. I don't know if he's... Sean, are you old enough to remember Sly and the Family Stone? Vaguely? Okay, so neither one of them I can trust to find some Sly Stone music. I'm out to find them. You could check greatest hits or something and, maybe do it like that. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll handle it that way. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Please, Dr. Ken, Monica says the establishment is trying everything in their power to turn blacks against Latinos and destroy any chance of unification. First of all, let me read the whole thing. The majority white has a game plan to pick off and divide groups within those and all people who are non-white. I hate people of color. That just hate being lumped in. They have also threatened by the existence of minority collective. Don't believe in a collective. Don't give them what they want. Who am I giving what they want? Like, I don't understand. Whites in control don't see any distinction between two ethnicities, and they view you both equally. So when you put down immigrants, it's actually hurting all minorities. The genius plan for the biggest. They don't give their hands dirty because they turn you guys against each other. Okay, so first of all, half of what you said, I completely and totally disagree. And for me personally, since you're giving your point of view, I think it's ridiculous. Here's why. There's never been unification because America is not a melting pot. If it were a melting pot, you would have accepted slaves, Asians, and everybody into America when we got here, and it didn't happen. So let's get that out of the way. Number two, majority white. Majority America is majority if the as you call it, non-white groups, you call people of color, come together, we outnumber whites right now, today. If they're threatened by the existence, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I'm going to do to fight. There's nothing I'm going to do anything, right? Whites in control don't see any distinction between the two ethnicities. That's not my problem. It's their problem. If they view us equally, I really don't care. I'm not putting down immigrants. I'm putting down people who came here illegally who are not supposed to be here. If you immigrated here and came through Ellis Island or came through immigration, got a visa, green card, whatever you did, and you got here legally, no harm, no foul. Seriously. If you came here illegally, because it's against state statute, even though it's civil, and by the way, all driving with a municipal citation are civil violations. Any driving with in your car and you get a speeding ticket, it's a civil violation. Do you think that if you don't pay your fine, you're going to go to jail? Yeah, you are. So that's my point on civil. It's not hurting all minorities because now when you say that, Monica, you're lumping all of us together. We're not the same. We're not. We have not all made strides and we've not all made contributions to America. Like some of us have actually made better strides than others. I'm sorry. In my point of view, black people have made significant contributions to America. So putting us all together is one thing. Number two, historically, blacks and Latinos get along, but Latinos don't support blacks the way blacks support Latinos. I've very rarely heard Latinos say black and brown community. We're the only ones that say that. While I have no problem with it, that's not what I say. I have absolutely no problem with somebody that is not black or they are of Hispanic descent, Latino, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to say Latinx because that's just dumb. And you are pro-Venezuelan, pro-Puerto Rican, pro-Mexican. I got no problem with that because I'm pro-black. So why should I get mad at you for being pro-you when I'm pro-me? Makes no sense to me. And the reason why you've never seen a black and brown coalition is because it doesn't work. There's a class and there's a caste and there's race that separates people. People are different. You can either accept it or you can go fighting something that you're never going to change. I appreciate what you said, Monica. I hear you. But at some point, I'm taking advantage of the American dream. I'm taking advantage of the American education system. I'm taking advantage of the American stock market and investment and do all those things to build up my family and make my ancestors proud and make my legacy to my children, my grandchildren, and my great-grandchildren the best it can be. If you want to sit here and argue about all the other stuff, I'll argue with you, and I'll fight with you, but I'm still doing the other stuff. I'm still taking advantage of it. I'm just saying. 833-212-1017 is the number. Dimitri, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hello, Dr. Ken.
How are you?
All right. All right. How you doing? I was just waiting to get on the show just to, speak my mind and just tell you how much I love your show.
Thank you.
I agree with the whole. Oh, you're welcome. I agree with the whole immigration thing. If you're over here legally, no harm, no foul. But not all illegal aliens or illegal immigrants are criminals and rapists and drugs. The United States is a tight country. I love this country, but it has its flaws, just like any other country. So, but you got to work on that, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making excuses or anything, or trying to put down my homeland because I'm born here. I'm a quote-unquote foundational Black American, like a lot of, some people would classify themselves. But, hey, if you're over here legally, I have no problem with you. But if you're over here illegally, then I got a problem with you. You got to go. And, pretty much that's all I got to say.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Take care, brother.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
You do the same. Bye-bye.
833-212-1017 is the number. Security Mike, you ain't hollered at me in a long time. What'd I do wrong this time?
I know, man. We had our little disagreement back then.
Yeah.
But I've still been listening, man.
We don't argue with people we don't love, do we?
Right, that's true. But with the last tweet with the young lady, and then G, some of the stuff G was saying sound about right, and some of it I just couldn't really kind of relate. But I ain't done no research to really know. But I'm just totally frustrated with all this immigrant stuff because they voted.
Right.
They voted for they let dude con them.
Right.
And because they were just figuring out, he's just to concentrate on the criminals. We not one of them.
Right.
But now Trump is he wrapping them all up. He's wrapping them all up. Now I really don't care because they shouldn't have voted that way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they couldn't vote anyway. They couldn't vote anyway. They was trying to let them vote.
Okay, well the ones that were able to.
No, but think about this. Let me ask you this, Security Mike, while I got you on. You want people who came here illegally, who weren't supposed to be here, weren't supposed to have access to anything in America. You wanted to give them a vote, but you don't let felons and people on probation vote. That are citizens. What is that?
And that are citizens. See, that's wrong. That's wrong right there too. And then, like you say, with Biden, them giving the resources to immigrants and this and that. But Trump just let 59 South Africans in here and did the same thing. And it seems like no Republicans are saying anything about that.
And they shouldn't have let them in. But here's the kicker: 59 versus 3 million. I got a problem with that.
I got a problem with that too. You're right, Dr. Ken. But I'm still listening. But all this is frustrating to me with these Hispanic immigrants or whatever. But they shouldn't have let dude con them. Now they suffering the consequences. All right, Dr. Ken.
All right. 833-212-1017. I thank you. Fonz, Monica. Yeah. And Monica said immigrants don't get benefits that African Americans get. And they're a net gain in dollar for America. No, they're not. Go to New York and ask the people in New York who had to go to D.C. to beg for money to pay for people who were staying in 5-star hotels that they threw guests out of so that they can get more money from the federal government to pay for them to stay in hotels. People that had no business being here and they got flown there on an airplane. When you get sick, you get health care that you don't have to pay for. If you sign up for affordable care, you still got to pay for it yourself. They got it for free. That's all I'm saying. So it's nice that you say that. And I'm not talking about not being humane. I'm talking about people that are sick and people that got sick, and we need to, stabilize them and make them great. But the problem is nobody gets to pay for it. I got to pay for it when I'm done. You can stabilize me. I can travel, but guess what? I'm going to get a bill. They ain't getting a bill. And every single human on earth that is on U.S. soil is granted due process per the Constitution. No, they're not. They most certainly are not. That's what the Constitution says as it relates to the civil rights. That's great, but not everybody is given due process. And there are certain things you do in this country. Ain't no due process. You know what the due process is? You go before a magistrate to be told you're getting thrown out the country. That is your due process. That ain't due process. Due process is you have access to what we call your Miranda rights. You have a right to an attorney. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. But guess what? Immigration court is not a court of law. It's a civil court. It's an administrative process. So you don't get access to your quote-unquote civil rights and due process. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford one will be appointed to you. So you're telling me that U.S. money should pay for you to have an attorney because you're here illegally to get an attorney to see whether or not you should get thrown out of this country that you're not supposed to be in. Because that's what you're saying when you say due process. A one-time misdemeanor offense of crossing the border, just like speeding or disturbing the peace, should not be a lifetime sentence. It most certainly should. The lifetime sentence is you don't belong here. So what's your lifetime sentence? I don't understand. The U.S. Constitution provides certain rights to all people within the United States, including undocumented immigrants. These rights are not based solely on citizenship, on the concept of personhood. There's no, I get it. And jurisdiction within the country, true or false? To a point, yes. To a point, yes. And Wayne, the argument of we need immigration to support GDP, that's positive immigration. That's immigration legally, not illegally. So we need people to be, watch this, we need people to be out of prison. So we'll let all the criminals out of prison too, and the innocent people for the sake of not having people in prison? I don't understand. And isn't it a little disingenuous to say we don't have enough workers for wages between $10 and $20 an hour, regardless of how you come to the country? If you're a law-abiding and contributing to the economy, those people are assets? Like, listen to what you're saying. You're low and you do yard work and you do roof work, so it's okay to keep you here because you're doing work we don't want you to. Come on, stop. Come on, stop. So I said it earlier, and I don't know if you heard me, Wayne. If you're here illegally and you got a job, you're working, you're paying taxes, and you're contributing to the economy, as I said before, I have no problem with you being here. Check in. Go to the immigration office and say, I came illegally, I got a job, I can verify it, I got this, I got this. Your employer might get in trouble for hiring you, right? But we need to soften that blow too, so employers come forward and say, hey, I got a citizen. But here's the other kicker. People are making money and they're making cash and they're sending it back home and tax-free. So I get it, but I don't get it. Black people don't have that process. Black people don't have that opportunity to come in and not pay taxes but get paid and do all that. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair, equal. It doesn't work out for either side. But we have to come to some type of agreement. But the agreement isn't to let everybody in when they want to come in and just let them roll in. That's not it. That's not it. And I personally believe you should not have access to the rights that American citizens do because you're in America. I think that's reserved for American citizens. Why don't you try this trash over in Germany or the Netherlands? Go over there and talk trash. Go to Mexico and try that trash. You would disappear. They would throw your behind in jail for being in their country. They don't care who you are. You ain't supposed to be here. And people that immigrate to those countries can only work certain jobs by law. You can only live in certain places by law. And there's some property you can't even own. There's some jobs you can't do because you're not a citizen. Now, if you want to become a citizen, you can apply. If you can, because they may not even let you be a citizen. Like all these things we talk, the only reason you're saying this is because we live in America. Thank God you do, and thank God I do, thank God we do, because otherwise we wouldn't even be having this conversation. They would have cut you off a long time ago. Y'all making me late for my top 5 at 5. It's y'all fault. Kathy, you're on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Ken.
Yes.
You know, I'm just checking. What about the DACA people who stop somebody and they say that their DACA child that came here at 5 or 6 years old? Are they still sending them back, or have they sending them back to wherever?
From what I understand, no, they haven't been sending them back.
Okay, and how are they sure they're a DACA person? Do they have to
I
have
don't know.
papers on them or something?
I have no idea. I think eventually they're going to work something. I think eventually they're going to work something out, and they're going to figure out if you're here and you were born here. They're going to, like all the idiocy Donald Trump did with trying to say, birthright citizenship, and even the Supreme Court that's predominantly conservative went, nah, we're not doing that. Like, no, you born here, you're a citizen, we're out. And so I think they'll be fine.
Right, but I mean, like the children that came here with their parents at 5 or 6 years old, they didn't have no choices.
Right.
Those are considered like DACA.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, have they been sending any back? Do anyone know that, or have they caught anybody that's 20 years old, 30?
Well,
say, hey, you're not legally here.
Well, they're illegally not. They're not legally not here. They should apply for citizenship. I mean, I don't. That's all I'm saying.
Once they get to be an adult from being a DACA child when it was a minor, okay, I see what you're saying now.
Right. I
Okay.
guess they can just apply. I mean, constitutional law is in relation to immigration. I don't really dive into, because so many people have so many emotions about it that sometimes you just gotta let it go.
Well, I know a few DACA people myself, and I know one that's working.
I do too.
Right now, she's going to engineering school. Smart little girl. And I think she got scholarships.
But she has to understand and know that if she gets caught, she can get deported, because she's knowingly going against what immigration law says do. Correct.
Yeah, she came as a minor.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's what the law says. That's what the statute says under immigration law. That's what it says. You can get a job. They can issue you a social security number. They can do all that stuff, but you are not here legally. And that is the part that needs to be worked out. That's the part that you've been leading a good life, and you've been going to school and bettering yourself and getting educated and got a job. I don't see a problem with them staying. You need to get in the process of getting your citizenship done, and we're golden. And call it a day.
She applied for it, but I know she can work.
Well, we don't know that. Okay, her phone is weaving in and out, so I'm going to put that on hold. Craig said people turn a blind eye on constitutional rights because people who are here legally are being tossed out too, so I don't agree with it. Due process should be across the board no matter what. Okay. But what do you mean people that are here legally are getting tossed out too? Sure, they've made mistakes. I'm sure they're going to make mistakes, just like cops mistakenly arrest people, mistakenly think people are a criminal and put them in handcuffs and all that and find out later they're not. That's within the rule of law that says no harm, no foul. You screw up, yeah, you mess it up. This dude from out east who got flew down to Venezuela, who was trafficking people, and they had to let him go because the Biden administration wouldn't prosecute this guy who was clearly a criminal, clearly what do I want to call it? In a criminal gang in human trafficking. And you want him here because he's a family man and has kids? Yeah. So now they brought him back. He's back. And now he's getting charged with human trafficking. He'll be found, if he's found guilty, because we're going to do that due process, right? If he's found guilty, he gets deported. Now what? Now what? What are you going to complain about now? If you put this much drama into helping people that are here that look like you, the poverty rate would be cut in half in the black community. But we'd rather fight for people who don't know you and don't probably care about you than fight for people that are already here. I find that interesting. I find that interesting that a group of people, African American, black, can fight for people who don't know them from a hole in the wall, and then turn around and say how terrible that is, but yet would you be given the same credence? Would you be given the same level of respect? You can't even get reparations. And you want to give away your tax money to somebody who came here and ain't supposed to be here.
Number 5.
Hey, y'all, from CBS 58, the Hop Streetcar. I can't even talk today, y'all. That got me so upset. Summerfest is 9 days away, and we just learned that the Hop Streetcar will be bringing back its Festival Line service this year. So here's the problem I have with the Festival Line service, right? The Hop rides are free. They'll run until 1 a.m. during the 9 nights of Summerfest. Okay, we can't pay for the Hop now. And now we're going to let people ride for free. Everywhere else around Summerfest, we charge people money. You gotta pay to eat. You got to pay to do all this stuff. But when it comes to Summerfest, we let people ride for free. That's a problem. I got a problem with that. Let people ride for free. Whatever.
Number 4.
From JS Online, MPS is what I believe doing what I like to call a great thing. Students get a seat on the school board. How cool is that? So, Milwaukee Public Schools is looking to reaffirm a half-century-old policy that would allow students to have a consistent seat on the school board. The policy reaffirmation is taking place to see what students want revised within the current legislature, School Board President Missy Zomber said, and the board hopes to cut down barriers to participation and appoint a student representative to sit on the board. Barriers to participation? Like what? She says students may currently struggle to participate due to the number of board meetings, which can be difficult to attend on top of schoolwork and personal responsibility. So what you're doing is you're coming up with excuses for kids not to be on the school board instead of just putting kids on the school board. Okay. Additionally, she says some meetings may not be relevant to students. So then what you need to, well, either put them on the school board or they're not on the school board. Let them make up their minds when they need to be there. Give them their own level of things they need to follow, such as you need to attend X amount of board members meetings. So if you have 12 out of the year, they need to be at 3 or 4. We call it a day, summertime, stuff like that. But I think that would give them student feedback. I think this is a great idea. Students should have a voice in policy and decision making. You also have to make sure that students are given the opportunity to, what's the word I'm using? Students have an opportunity to be given information and be confidential, and so that they can make a clear, unpressured, unbullied statement about being a student versus having adults tell them, well, you got to this and, you don't know better because you're an adult. Don't have them do stuff like food, decor in the hall. Have them do hard things like curriculum and what high schools offer and things of that nature. I think it'll be great.
Number 3.
This also from JS Online. Milwaukee journalism pioneer and visionary Gerald Jones, 85, founder of the weekly newspaper Milwaukee Courier and one of our rival, I wouldn't call it a rival, our local radio stations, WNOV Radio, has died, according to a statement from the family. Mary Ellen Jones, daughter and general manager of their media conglomerate, said in a statement on the station's website on June 9th that he was a mentor, a pioneer, and a beacon of strength. Jones led Courier Communications Corporation, which included the newspaper, for 61 years. Founded in 1964 during the Civil Rights Movement and desegregation in Milwaukee. So we want to say condolences to the family of Gerald Jones. He was a local pioneer, and he will be missed.
Number 2.
From JS Online. So this is a home run, I say, another home run for Superintendent of MPS, Dr. Brenda Cassellius. And if you haven't heard the interview with her on last Monday, make sure you check it out. Milwaukee Public Schools celebrate 13 soon-to-be Montessori teachers with a graduation ceremony at Hoyt Park on June 6th after the cohort finished a unique MPS-sponsored training program intended to fill vacancies. So for 18 months, the 2025 Montessori Elementary Credentialing Cohort spent their evenings and weekends taking classes to receive certification to teach grades 1 through 6 with hands-on material. So what does that mean? Well, a paraprofessional at McDowell Montessori School who'll be teaching at Maryland Avenue Montessori School next year, said, a lot of us are mothers with young children and working full-time in schools, and it's rewarding to be able to do something this hard and be here despite all that. And so how does it work? Well, in order to be licensed to teach at a Montessori school, you have to have special credentialing from Montessori Accreditation Council for Teacher Education or Association Montessori Internationale, also known as AMI. And so when you're able to do this, that means that kids grow and move at a point that whatever their pace is. So if they move faster than other kids and they can finish 1st through 6th grade in 3 years, they get it in 3 years. I think that is absolutely phenomenal. And some of our fast-moving, fast-paced, great kids that are doing great things in Milwaukee will be great. And I think it will be. And I think it will be. I'm just saying.
Number 1.
All right, I want to say congratulations, and this is kind of a strange one, to the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge Free and Accepted Masons of Wisconsin, to the most worshipful Grand Master, Sean James. He was just elected, and he's now the president of He's the CEO, and he's the Grand Master of Prince Hall Masons of Wisconsin. So I just wanted to say congratulations.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Truth Nation, please join us for the 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee on Thursday, June 19th. The Truth will be broadcasting live from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so don't miss out on your chance to celebrate with us with our live Juneteenth broadcast presented by Hope Christian Schools and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Associated Bank, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, and Educators Credit Union.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design.
Great impressions.
Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins 2-foot party subs are back. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. And now you can complete your party by adding a party chip bag and a dozen chocolate chip cookies for just $4.99. Order today in store, online, or on the app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Escape the city and relax
At Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family.
Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen.
Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah.
If you want me to stay, I'll be around today to be available for you to see. I'm about to go, and then you'll know for me to stay, I got to be me. You'll never be in doubt, that's what it's all about. You can't take me for granted and smile. Calvin Grace, I'm gone. Forget reaching me by phone, because I promise I'll be gone for a while. When you see me again.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. If you didn't know, Sly Stone from Sly and the Family Stone passed away. So we want to say condolences to his family. It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Time to upgrade your windows and or doors, but don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now, you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan was to wait, well, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments up to 2 years later. Certain restrictions apply. In 6/30 of 2025, that's June 30th, y'all, to set your free in-home consultation today. Go to PellaWI.com. That's Pella Windows. That's Pella, Wisconsin. How you want to say it? PellaWI.com. PellaWI.com. All right. 833-212-1017 is the number. Let me see. Hey, boss, man, a drill rapper from Delaware. I would like you to help me. Okay, well, get me. Okay. So they're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Good evening, doctor. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Mal. What's going on? Dee Dee. Y'all crazy. Y'all have lost y'all mind. Well, you got to have a mind to lose it, right? Okay, well, then I must not have one because I didn't lose it. So, I'm just saying. What's up, Lana? Curly, I thought Sherwin Hughes did that show. I'm not sure, but I thought they're going back and forth about Sherwin and AI. And, whew, Lord have mercy. People are so emotional. So emotional. People are so emotional. I tell you. LT said Taylor Swift rocks. No, she don't. Garbage. Anyway. LT said, yes, I will gladly pay extra taxes for people who don't look like me to flee their country and come here seeking asylum. Not everybody is fleeing their country. Listen, stop falling for the okie doke. And you talking about all these people from all these countries are fleeing their countries because it's so, they might be fleeing because they want a better life in America. That's great. I'm fleeing because they're trying to kill me. Okay, so help me out. You're in a gang. The other gang is trying to kill you, so you want asylum so the other gang won't kill you. Why would we let you, who are in a gang in a country where we don't like gangs, so that you can start a gang here? Like, what? Come on now. That's the comment. We're turning a blind eye to constitutional rights. I don't think people who are not here, who are from here, should have access to our constitutional rights. Should they get a job over you? Let's say you have a son or daughter who dropped out of high school, who has a 10th grade education, which means what? They can read, they can write, they can do arithmetic, they can count, they can do all those things. They just don't have a degree. They could even go back and get it in like a year, right? Okay. That being aside, and they decide, hey, I love horticulture and I want to work in yards and do landscaping and build up. And so they go to get a job and they tell them, well, I got somebody here that's here illegally. Of course, they're not going to tell them. And I can hire them for $10 an hour and they're going to send half of it back home where they're from. Or I could pay you $20 an hour. Who would you hire? I would expect you would hire the U.S. citizen, the young black man or woman who's trying to make a go at it. But what I'm hearing is that, oh no, We need people here so we can pay them cheaper. Like what? Yeah, we don't want to give black boys and girls jobs. Oh, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to give white kids jobs, Hispanic kids jobs, Asian kids jobs, Native American. No, we don't give nobody jobs. No, we want to give it to people who came here who aren't supposed to be here so I can hide them in my house. Isn't that how rich people got in trouble with immigrants who was here illegally and got here from other countries and been working in their house for 13, 14, 15 years, hiding? Come on. And then we point at the rich person. Oh, it's terrible. You took advantage of them. Oh, I guess it's okay to take advantage of them. Okay. You can't have it both ways is what I'm saying. You can't cry and riot about immigration when you're not crying and rioting about poverty here in America, in your neighborhood. You should be ashamed of yourself. If you're actually saying that you support somebody who's not supposed to be here over people that are here and want to give them due process and benefits that we don't get black people here. You got a criminal justice system that treats you wrong, but you want the criminal justice system to treat them right. But you're not arguing about when it treats us bad. Whatever. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazica.
Southbound on 41, bagging up from before Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound is going to be slow from Watertown Plank Road up to Hampton. We've got delays eastbound 94, basically from Highway 164 all the way through the Barker Road area to Brookfield Road. You're back on the brakes from Highway 100 all the way past an accident scene at 60th Street, or 68th, I should say, and then to Hawley Road. On the westbound side, you got backups out of the Marquette all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes through the Zoo into Waukesha County to about Calhoun. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with a low of 63. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a chance of rain or storms at night, a high of 83. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazica on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the uncommon coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
Most people don't know that a county executive is a higher elected position than a mayor. Most people don't know what a state assembly representative does, a state senator, nor their function in overall state government. Most people, in fact, don't know what a school board representative actually does. Ask a person who their county board supervisor is, and they'll likely shrug their shoulders. Also, most people don't vote. We're in for a world of hurt. If we don't know the functions of our government at the very basic level, then we are not nearly equipped for what is going to happen to this nation for the next 4 years. All they had to do was tell unsophisticated folks gas prices are too high, inflation is too high, bacon and eggs cost too much. It's this guy's fault. It's this party's fault. Vote for us. Don't think about the criminal prosecutions. Don't think about all the malfeasance. Don't think about all of the misconduct and the corruption. We're going to make your bacon cheaper. We're going to make your eggs cheaper. We're also going to gut the FBI. We're also going to gut anything related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're going to shred this nation from the top to the bottom, all in favor of a handful of folks. How about this? Let's tell people that immigrants are actually the problem. And then Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk will bring in the most highly trained immigrants this nation has ever seen. Why? Because Americans are none the wiser. Don't believe me? Look at public school children's performance, not just in Milwaukee, not just in Wisconsin, but nationwide. Get ready for a long ride, ladies and gentlemen. A very long ride.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. A tough one for the Milwaukee Brewers on Monday night. They fall to the Braves by a final score of 7-1 in Game 1 of their 3-game series. The loss dropping the Brewers to an overall record of 35-32. The Crew now losers of 3 of their last 4 games after the game manager Pat Murphy on the Braves.
I don't know anything about the record. I just know that you look at their lineup 1 through whatever, they're pretty good. As good as you're going to find with Sale on the mound for sure.
Game 2 is set for this evening. That first pitch is set for 6:40. And lastly, we'll head over to the NFL where the Green Bay Packers are back in action this week. They'll kick off mandatory minicamp beginning today, which will wrap up on Thursday. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
End of the spring, and here she comes back. High, 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 high there. Them summer days, those summer days. That's when I have most of my fun.
That's a jam. Out of school. Here it is right here.
County fair in the country sun.
And everything. See, y'all don't get it. Hot fun in the summer. Somebody said, is that the Monkees playing or something? Hey, Tanya, that's called Sly and the Family Stone. You know what? 833-212-1017 is the number. It's 1017 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Time to upgrade your windows and or doors, but don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every single solitary budget. And right now you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, well, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making those payments. Up to 2 whole years. So certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. 8332. Tanya says Sly and the Family Who? Girl, you need to learn your history. A lot of the music that you listen to right now is music from people like Sly Stone and Funkadelic and yeah. You know that music that starts on the one. I know y'all don't get that. On the one. I don't go by what we, by the, I don't understand what you're saying. She says she know Ohio players. Okay. So let me see what, Mal, you had a question. Get your take on the question. Where's your question, Mal? Let me go back. He had a question. Do you think the foundations of this country need to be updated? I don't understand what you mean by foundations. I would say no. Because when you update the foundations of this country, last time that happened in Germany, we got Hitler. Last time that happened in the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, we got Putin. Understand what I'm saying? Right? It creates a Politburo where that group of people are in charge of everything, much like the Democrat and Republican Party do. And then you look up and only those people are winning. Because it comes down to what? The people who have the most are the ones, right? Everything's equal, except some people are actually more equal than others.
Don't touch that dial. More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered. With free tickets, Truth Nation, to the world's largest outdoor festival. Tune into The Truth all week and listen for your cue to call and a chance to win an 18-pack of tickets to Summerfest.
Benjamin, I know you lying.
No, Juice, you heard that right. It's an 18-pack of tickets so your friends and family can enjoy Summerfest on us. So stay tapped into The Truth so you do not miss your chance to enjoy the biggest party on the lakefront. Summerfest is presented by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
Why did Old National Bank decide to create this program?
You know, it was something that was near and dear to the heart of our chairman and CEO, Jim Bryant. Jim wanted us to do more in the African-American communities, more with minority-owned businesses. So he approached Roland Shelton, who was my boss in Evansville, Indiana, and said, Roland, we need to do more. We need to create a program that's going to allow individuals, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses to access capital a lot better than traditionally we've been doing. And so we created the Empowerment Loan Program 2 years ago.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Time to upgrade your windows and or doors but don't want to spend a fortune? Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it done now and wait to start making payments for up to 2 years. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Don't scroll past summer. Experience it live at Summerfest. See your favorite artists, grab your go-to fast food, and make memories you'll talk about all year. Because it's more than just a music festival. It's your summer highlight reel. Don't miss Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance, June 19th through 21st, June 26th through 28th, and July 3rd through 5th. The stories you tell this summer, they start at Summerfest. Get tickets now at summerfest.com.
Get that jump start to a fulfilling career at Carroll University through majors such as video game design, music therapy, pre-law, and over 90 additional majors. Carroll University is Wisconsin's oldest university. Founded in 1846, Carroll offers students small class sizes, personalized attention, and a generous financial aid package while they receive a cutting-edge education. Learn more at carrollu.edu. That's carrollu.edu.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Uh-oh, is that time. I want to say thank you for hanging out. It was good discussing with some of you. Appreciate your thoughts and your opinions and your topics in the talking text line. And heard from LT, ain't heard from him in a minute. Al and everybody. And want to say hey to Tanya and Kawanda and everybody, and Mao and everybody. Say thank you. Y'all have a great rest of your week. I'm going to be checking out today, rolling out. I'm rolling home because I got a boatload of stuff to get done and summertime's coming. So want to say, hey, y'all, it's been real. I'm just saying. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tori Lowe Show's coming up next. For the best in Milwaukee Black Talk. I will not see you in 22 hours. I'll see you in 22, 44, 66, 80. I'll be back next Tuesday. So God bless. Take care. Glenn, appreciate you, brother, as always. Take care. I'm out.
Be quiet.